grudge match.
That's interesting. Okay, so we're gonna, as usual, take questions from the press. If you use the raise hands function, I see a couple guys pinging in. Tell us about your first fight with Marcus.
My first fight was it was a good fight. I got the win. I believe I won every round. That was my first fight back. I came off a 2.5 year layoff. I just couldn't get a fight, and he accepted the challenge at that time, and I gave him his first loss. So you always remember your first loss. I'm sure he thinks about me at night.
Okay, well, he's got a big opportunity now in front of him, a chance to avenge that loss. Let's take some questions from the press. Ryan O'Hara, we'll start with you.
Hey, how's it going, Marcus? Hey, Marcus, can you hear me?
You're on with Raeese.
Oh, sorry, I said the wrong name. How's it going, man?
No problem. It's been a crazy 24 hours, Ryan. Go ahead for Raeese.
Yeah, I have not had my coffee this morning. No excuses, as fighters would say. I screwed the you know what on that one. But how's it going, man?
It's going all right.
All right. Well, 6 of your last 7 fights, you've won by way of knockout. That one fight that didn't end in knockout came against
Marcus Bates.
Marcus Bates. Sorry, man, I'm a little slow this morning, but yeah, it came against Marcus. So, give your thoughts on that. This fight could go another way. So, how are you feeling about this unexpected fight?
Kind of like my last fight, focus. I was 100% prepared physically and mentally to fight Williams. So that kind of changed just like that. I'm 110% focused to fight Marcus Bates. Now, he's an extremely tough fighter. He's a hard hitter. He's a competitor. So this isn't an easy fight. He is a top fighter. In our last fight, given 10 more seconds, he was ready to give up. I would have stopped him. But whatever happened. I got the win. This time around, he'll be facing a completely different fighter. So I don't believe we go to distance. 12 rounds, there's no way he can go 12 rounds with me.
And this is obviously still an eliminator for the WBA. So, obviously important for you to win and win impressively for a shot at the title. So really nothing diminished here in my mind for what's at stake for you, Raeese. So we're going to take our next question from Reggie Woodson. Reggie, your line is open.
What's good, Raeese? Good.
Yeah,
2 days in a row. Hey, you just mentioned that this goes from a business to a grudge match. You're originally from Michigan, I believe, right?
Yeah. Muskegon.
So I don't know if you follow football or whatever, but players get to talking about running downhill. Does this cause you to have more of a cerebral approach? Does it take away your aggression that you were planning for, or anything with the new opponent coming in?
No, it doesn't take away from my aggression. If anything, it amps it up. I'm probably going to be more aggressive, if anything, because it is more of a grudge match. The first time I fought him up head to head, I beat him fair and square, and he has the audacity to say something was up with his water or some bullshit like that. Real fighters don't make excuses, and that's exactly what he has done. He's made excuses. He called me out and told people I was scared to fight him. Well, he gets his chance now, and he's gonna be more than what he bargained for.
Any concerns about with it being a 12-rounder? That's what you've been expecting for the last couple of weeks. So, do you think that's an advantage, a big advantage for you, or doesn't affect you in any way?
I believe it's a big advantage for me because I am a 12-round fighter. Every fighter should strive for that. That's what I train for. I'm ready to go 12 hard, active rounds if need be. So that plays into what I do in the ring.
Gotcha. Last question. Do you see the change of opponent, him coming into the to the area where you guys are and whatnot? Do you see this being more unsettling for him? I mean, he's working in some traveling. He got that good news. and unfamiliar with the surroundings and all of that. Is that an advantage for you?
I don't believe so because, like I said earlier, he is a top fighter and he is still a threat, So given the circumstance of this and that, doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, he can fight. So, I do have to be cautious of that. But getting the fight at a moment's notice and everything, I don't believe that gives me an advantage. I just have to go in there and handle business.
All right. Thank you, Reggie. We're going to go to our next question from Andres Gomez. Andres, you got to unmute your line and you can go ahead.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Very good. Thank you.
So, Raeese, you mentioned your last fight, it went the distance. Is there anything you might have learned that bout? And what would you like to do differently going into this matchup?
Well, that fight I was coming. It was my first fight in 2.5 years. I was in Las Vegas, Nevada, training myself. So it was just kind of new for me. I was just getting my feet wet. But since then I've been active. I have a great trainer in Bobby McRoy. I've been in the gym. It's different. I've grown a staggering amount from that fight till now. I don't believe he's gotten any better since then, maybe a little bit, but I became a world-class fighter since then.
Right. Now, you mentioned you've had some challenges training yourself and stuff like that. What kind of stuff did you have to deal with this camp, dealing with the whole pandemic and keeping yourself in shape?
Well, the pandemic was tough. It was ups and downs, but I was proactive, so getting the road work in and the shadow boxing that needed to be done, going up to the park and doing calisthenics or just doing it at home, meeting up with my boxing coach at his house, hitting the bag, hitting the mitts, staying busy and preparing for an opportunity like this, but not knowing if it would ever come. I've gone 4 years at 2 different times in my career doing that, grinding with no outcome, like with no fight date, like in sight.
Right. Now, you mentioned the knockout, man. Just let us know what kind of statement do you want to make Saturday night?
Well, it's the same statement I was trying to make with Williams, and that is still a future opponent that I want to fight. But I want to show up and show out. I'm not only looking to win, I'm looking to dominate. And make no mistake, I'm definitely looking to knock him out.
All right. Thank you for your time. Wish you the best going forward.
Thank you.
Okay, Raeese. Time for one more question. We'll take it from Cameron Buford. Cameron, if you unmute, you can go ahead.
Hey, Raeese, how's it going, Chief?
Yeah, it's going pretty good.
Hey, so you mentioned this is a kind of a grudge match, and then he called you out. So with that added intensity that you're bringing to this fight, how do you stay focused on kind of doing what you got to do just to kind of make it get the W for yourself?
Well, I'm a competitor. I'm a first-degree black belt in karate. So I know how to handle my emotions. Although I want to knock them out, I'm not gonna go in there swinging for the fences. I'm gonna do it strategically. I'm gonna listen to my trainer, and because I want to knock them out, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the job done. But it all comes down to focus. I'm just gonna be exactly focused on what and how I want to do it.
And you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but in preparation for your other opponent, and then he comes aboard, now you get this opportunity for the grudge match, as you mentioned. How does that change the mentality or philosophy in your training process? Go ahead.
Well, I went from, my last fight was still kind of at a moment's notice. I didn't have a month to train for Williams. I didn't have too much to train for Williams. I had like some days. And preparation for a southpaw is a little bit different versus orthodox, so it's still the same game plan. I'm good either or. It's just business, it's not going to be a big adjustment.
We'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday night.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Raeese. We'll let you go. We're going to get set for our last fighter today, Angelo Leo. Take a few questions from him, and we'll see you tomorrow, Raeese, at the weigh-in.